What's up YouTube, I'm just another guy and welcome back to the Welsh way here with Aberystwyth Town. So here we are at the draw for the knockout round of the continental competitions, and if you look to the left we see that we are in the Champions League still. We did manage to qualify from our group. We were given, like I said when I originally got the group, we were given a pretty easy group. You know, we were given a group that we could achieve what we wanted to achieve, which is knockout football in the Champions League competitions, and ended up going through second place. So overall, I'm very happy to have got there. We just scraped through by the skin of our teeth, but we'll look at that momentarily. So, I mean, we'll do all the stuff first. So league-wise, we're 15 wins out of 15 wins, only conceded one goal all season, and that was against TNS. So, really dominant season this year. And in fact, throughout all the competitions, domestically, we've only conceded 2 goals all season long, and it was one in the cup, which ended up going through to penalties because we conceded that goal, and then one in the league to TNS, who we still beat on the day, I think 3-1. So really has been an easy league up until now. We're just one game away from halfway through the season as well, so really good record so far. But anyway, we'll go through some stats because I think we've got some very nice player stats to show off. So Thomas Wallace, despite the fact only being his first full season here, he's really showing why I probably should have played him the year before. Really good potential, and I want to develop him. I want to push him through the ranks. We did spend, at the time, a record fee on him of 105k, so I really want to see this guy develop and grow. And to do that, he needs first team football, and that's what he's getting here. He's playing as a target man role or advanced forward role, wherever I can just squeeze him into the team. And he's our top goal scorer so far this season in the league, in all competitions as well, with 11 goals in the league, and I think 19 in all competitions. So really good so far by Wallace. He's also the highest player of the match awards, drawn with Greenaway and Jones. Also Armstrong dominating the assists, and a load of other players in there about there, but this is mostly our backup team in these competitions. If we actually look down here, this is a very interesting stat. Costa has conceded 0 goals along with Smolka. Now Smolka played, I believe, 1 game in this competition. He did. That was right at the start of the season because Lloyd picked up an injury. But Costa has conceded 0 goals but got 6 clean sheets. So he's played 6 games and not conceded a goal. That's a really good record, and Lloyd has conceded 1 goal, so he's played 8 games and conceded and kept 7 clean sheets. So really, we've just tore up this division. We've played as our second team most of the time, which is why the likes of Wallace and Armstrong are up there on these stats right now. I believe once we start playing our first team, or the people that are considered more regulars here, these players may fade away from the top stats, and maybe the likes of Sousa will come in, O'Connor or whatever, But it's been a really, really good start to the league. This really good start domestically this season. So last time I saw you off was after this game. I think it was just before the Ryle match. We won 5-0 against Ryle and beat this team 4-0. I have no idea to say that. But we started off our Champions League group stage with a 3-3 draw to Celtic. And this was a good result, surprisingly, because we were 3-0 down with 30 minutes remaining. So I was very, very worried that we were going to lose 3-0 against a team that I thought we were most likely to beat and most likely to finish ahead of. So I went attacking, I threw caution to the wind, I ended up taking Dave O'Connor off for Thomas Wallace, who at the time was still, I think, 17 maybe at the time. I had a choice between Lewis, who is someone that has done very well in the league last year. He scored quite a few goals, and maybe not in the league itself, but in all competition he scored quite a few goals. Or I had Wallace on the bench, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to put Wallace on. I'm going to see what this guy does. And Will Evans was playing as well, which meant I didn't have Sousa on the pitch, and Sousa is arguably our best striker here. So, I had a few players missing that I would have wanted playing going forward as well. I would have liked Jenkins out on the right. And the fact is, Wallace came on and was incredible. He was the game changer. And really fortunate to pick up a point here. A very late goal from Wallace and Ben Davis, 2 in the last 10 minutes, but after the man got sent off, we got that equalising goal, and we could have maybe gone on to win it, but being 3-0 down with 30 minutes remaining, a point was really good to pick up from this game. After that, we beat Preston 3-0, Airbus 2-0, before, these were both of us, this was our second team, the game against Airbus, before we did play Fiorentina. We beat them 1-0 in a very tight, close game, with Thomas Wallace being the goal scorer yet again, saving us with a 62nd minute goal. But it was a very tight encounter. 1-0 scoreline probably doesn't reflect how tight the game was, but we took a chance when it came. And in the end, we got all 3 points because of that. And it was actually Wallace coming from the bench again to score. I weren't able to really find a striker that would click with Dave O'Connor. And so in the end, Wallace had to come on to save us once more and earn us all 3 points there. And that was a very important 3 points at that time, because I believe it put us second in the group with that, because Real Madrid had beaten both Fiorentina and Celtic. So after that, we played Port Talbot, won 3-0. Then Cambrian, a team that have been in this league before. I've been in the Premier League, I believe. Yep, last season they were here. We played them in the Cup, and I played my second team in this, or the strongest second team I could possibly field, because internationals are on the same day as this Premier League Cup first round. They always are. And so as a result, I had pretty much half of my team out on international duties, and my second team also goes out on international duties, because a lot of them are under the age of 21, which means a lot of them are youth players, and they go off to play for their likes of Wales or England's under 19s and whatever. So end up playing a very weakened team, a lot of youngsters here. And despite major dominance in the match, 29 shots compared to their 4, they managed to hold us out. Their early goal, their only shot on target through the whole game, was enough to push us through to extra time and even push us through to penalties. And in penalties, I was very nervous because we didn't have very good penalty taking stats. And in fact, our 4, what I'd called senior players, Armstrong, Evans, Gunter and Hunter, all scored the first 4 penalties. And I knew that I was going to have 4 players that maybe hadn't played before in the starting 11 at all step up and take penalties. And they all scored, which I was delighted with, because Richards is 17 years of age, never played for the team before until that day. He's now played in the league. Turner has been here for years and has never played for the club. He made a substitute appearance and stepped up and scored in that game. Wilkinson never made an appearance for the side and still yet to in the league or anything, making his first start, scored a penalty in that game. And then Thomas, who again never played for the club, making his first start in the game, scored a penalty. So I had a lot of debutants step up and score penalties, and that sort of nerves is a lot to put on someone at 17, 16, not playing senior football ever. The fact that we managed to scrape through and save us being embarrassed by a very early exit. It's a nice way to go through. It was a tense game, a nervous game that I didn't really want, but the fact that we ended up coming out of a win, I'm very happy with. And then we played Bangor City and won 3-0. Then came these 2 toughest games in the group in the Champions League. If I could get a draw against Real Madrid in one of these games, I was going to be chuffed. The first one at home, we lost 3-0. Despite the fact that match stats showed that it was a pretty tight game, we just couldn't deal with the class and quality they have going forward. And in the end, we conceded and gave 3 goals away. Here again, look at this. Joe Pearce and Lewis up front. This guy's 18 years of age. Got some very nice stats on him, this guy. But doesn't really play too often for us. And Lewis, who's someone struggling in the Champions League this year, just trying to find someone that would click up front, because I think in this game we actually had O'Connor out injured as well as Sousa. Sousa was on the bench, as you can see, just coming back. He wasn't match fit yet. He came back in the game before. I think he was on the bench, but he didn't play in that game either. So, I was scraping the bottom of the barrel in terms of strikers with Champions League experience. And as a result, we weren't able to score there. In between the next Real Madrid game, we beat Tom Pentry 5-0, Bala 2-0, and Kevin Druids 2-0 before a very tight match against Real Madrid. We lost 1-0 at the Bernabeu. And despite the fact we were completely embarrassed and dominated, only had 1 shot all game long, and I think that may have been a set piece, I don't actually remember, but we had no control in this game. We were all over the place. We just had to sit back and try and absorb as much pressure as we could, and we did. We absorbed a lot of pressure, and the 80th minute goal was their only way of finding the back of the net. And if we look at match stats, you showed that they had a lot of clear opportunities, a lot of half chances, and we were saving them all and preventing them all. Really sad to see that we conceded in the 80th minute. The end result is we're still in the Champions League knockout round, so it doesn't make a difference. But I thought that could have been the difference, that very late goal to concede. After that, Tom Pentry. Oh no, I'd already won that. After that, we played Chirk, I think it is. Is it Chirk? Whatever. We played Chirk 7-0 on the Cup. That was the first team out there, so really I'd expected to win. Then we played Port Talbot, won 2-0, and then TNS, the first goal we conceded in the league all season long, we beat them 3-1 with a Wallace double helping us there. Then to Celtic in the Cup, in the Champions League. This is an important match because Celtic at the time were bottom of the group. Fiorentina were playing Real Madrid. If we won this game, we knew going to Fiorentina, a draw would be enough to see us through, and even a defeat with a 1-goal deficit with us scoring would be enough to see us go through as well. So basically we had to win this game, and it was a 90th minute Victor Sousa goal helping us go through in this game. Despite taking the lead on one occasion, they got back and we really dominated them. We really outperformed them. We deserved all 3 points, and I'm really glad that in the end Sousa, the player of quality and class, I think he's the drawn second highest goal scorer in the Champions League this season, popped up and scored and made it 2-1. And his first start in Champions League since coming back from injury, so really nice to see that there. Then, in between that, we played Aston Villa, won 3-0, beat Bala 3-0, played Real, beat them 3-0, 3-0s in a row, before losing 2-1 to Fiorentina. Now, what this meant was, I really wanted to win this game. We took the lead. I thought we were going to go on to win the game, but they got 2 goals and they fought back, and in the end they thoroughly deserved their win. They outperformed us on the day. But what it meant was that we were drawn level on points with Fiorentina on 7 points each. And having both won a game, home and away, if you want to look at this in 2 legs, when you're in a knockout round, there's 2 legs. There's your home leg and your away leg. In the home leg, we won 1-0. In the away leg, we lost 2-1. But because we scored the away goal, it put us through. So because Sousa scored in the 29th minute, despite the fact we lost 2-1, that away goal, that goal by Sousa, put us through on that preference, on that alone, pretty much, because we were drawn level on points. If it had been a 1-0 win for Fiorentina without that away goal, Fiorentina would have gone through due to a better goal difference. And so, just because of that pretty early goal in the 29th minute, it put us through in the Champions League knockout round. So we've got that draw coming up now, and very recently we just won 4-0 in the league again. So really am looking forward to see what we can get in this knockout round draw. A lot of tough teams. I believe we have to get a team in the top who finished top of their group, so that narrows down the list. I'm sure we'll get a very tough team, but let's go through. So Atletico will have Man U, Sevilla will play PSG, Spartak Moscow, Valencia, Juventus, Madrid, us at home in the first leg, and we play Chelsea. The team that knocked us out of the Europa League last year, they're going to play us again this year. So we meet again, Chelsea. We meet again. So I'll meet you back for that game. I don't predict us to win that game. I'm normally optimistic, but based on how we played last year, how we were dominated and pretty much destroyed, I wouldn't really put much hope into this. But, no, I'm not even going to say but, I don't think we're going to be going through in the Champions League. But, I'm going to say but anyway, but at least we got to knockout rounds. That's the main aim. We haven't been there for 2 years, and we finally got there this year. So this will be it for now. I'll meet you back for the Chelsea games. So until then, peace out.